Hello everybody, welcome to RB&D Reviews. I'm Rob.
And I'm Dave.
And today we're reviewing War Horse. It came out on Christmas Day, and it's very rare that, Dave, to have two Steven Spielberg films released around the same time, and in this case, Christmas time. Yeah, War Horse, it was based off of a book which was later turned into a play, and the story is pretty simple. This horse is bought by a family, I believe in England, and unfortunately, the family can't afford to keep it, so they sell it, and it goes from the British Army, and then it wanders into the German Army, and then it wanders around and meets all different types of characters, and and then eventually, you know, there's a little thing at the end too. So basically, it's about the horse going around and meeting different people, and it's sort of inspiring them. Okay, well, Dave, one thing I will say, I think this movie does have a very appealing story, because for one thing, everyone says in the movie, oh, the horse isn't worth anything, it's no good, but, you know, he does a lot of things which seem to be impossible, like he helps a farmer, you know, plow a field, which everyone says is rocky and is no good, you know, and then he does stuff with all the other characters, so you've got a character which has sort of like some sort of human emotions, and, you know, a character you can root for.
And the horse also brings people that are most likely enemies together at certain times in the movie, and helps them to see the good in each other and whatnot. Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I forgot to mention the movie's set in during World War I, right at the beginning, and then of course over to the end. So it's set in the 1910s. But another thing is, speaking of the war, you know, this film, seems to say that everybody seems to suffer during this war, because this film I think is about having hope. And, you know, keeping your head up high. I think it's very interesting. This movie came out just as, you know, U.S. soldiers are getting pulled out of Iraq, you know, and so it shows that it questions whether you should be proud to go out and fight or whether war is not the answer. So I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
And with this movie, you know, with the economy here, you know, there's a lot of people that are trying to make ends meet right now, and just like the character, like the farmer at the beginning of the movie and his family. So you got characters you can relate to. You know, they're trying to pay their bills, they're trying to pay their landlord, just like a lot of people are that are struggling this company.
It shows people that are like stingy, and they want everything that everybody else has, and it shows that you got to appreciate what you have and make do with what you have, and be grateful to have some really good things.
Yeah, definitely. This movie was, you know, I think is going to be very relatable to people. War Horse, like all of other Spielberg's movies, it's got some nice photography. There's a little thing at the end where it kind of copies Gone with the Wind, the last shot of that movie. There's John Williams' score, which is very good. The actors are good. You actually have characters that you care about, that have personalities, that have emotions that we feel. The only problems I had with War Horse was I think it's a little too long, personally.
I mean, everything in it, like, really helps the movie and sticks to the plot and everything, and I mean the whole movie's like interesting, and you know, you're basically like not really like on the edge of your seat, but you're just hoping that this horse is going to survive and come back and into civilian life after the war and all that.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I mean, I just think the movie went on a little bit too long, because when we got to the last act, which contained some very important stuff, it got to the point where I'm like, you know, I'm getting kind of, you know, tired of this. But I will say this, I thought this movie was going to overdo it on people cheering on the horse, because you do get that a couple times in the movie, like, come on, you can do it, you can do it. And luckily, I don't think they did it too much in this movie.
I just got done seeing it like 5 minutes ago, and actually when I was in there was like half the women in the theater were like crying a lot of times, and little kids were crying and whatnot. So.
Yeah, again, you got characters that you can root for and support. So
yeah,
I don't think this is Spielberg's best film, but I did enjoy it. I liked the storyline. I just think it was a bit too long, but I am going to give it a see it in theaters.
It's one of his better films compared to some things that he's made. But
like the latest Indiana Jones movie.
Right. Yeah, it's a lot better than that. You don't see very many in-depth, good World War I films either anymore. Like, any war movies from like the 1940s, it's more like movies about World War II, 1940s movies, instead of like the early 1900s during World War I. So unless they're a lot of times the ones that are around are like remakes of like either TV shows put into a movie or just remakes of older movies. Like probably like an example would be like All Quiet Along the Western Front. They've made several remakes of that. So.
Lately, there's a lot of movies about World War II and Vietnam, and not too much on World War I. So I will agree with you on that. So, how are you going to rate the movie?
I'm also going to say see it in theaters because this is one of the better movies that's in theaters right now compared to some of the stuff. A lot of the stuff is the same old stuff, but yeah, this is like, in my opinion, this is a movie of hope, really.
Yeah, that's the whole theme of the movie. Okay, well, that's our review of War Horse. So we both say see it in theaters. So if you've seen it, leave your comments about the movie or any feedback you have about this channel. So thank you very much for watching.